people on the IANs are getting all upset about Harris and this and that. Like, I look, we have a binary choice. And Trump and Republican empowerment is an absolute non-starter. There is literally, I don't believe, a single policy or situation for anybody except for a very small group of people, moneyed group of people who are going to benefit from a Trump campaign. It is important to be clear-eyed about who Harris is in terms of, or at the very least, to be put on notice that, like, look, you got to be, don't fall in love with your candidates, folks. Support them because you're supporting a broader constituency and issue set, but do not fall in love with your candidates because it will keep you from knowing where pressure must be exerted. Who knows about the campaign stuff? Oh, we can sit here and, critique electoral decisions. And if she wins, nobody's going to remember that we brought these up. If she loses, we're going to be able to say, we told you so. And as if we were 100% sure about this, when of course we're not. So it's speculative. It is to give you some insight as to how this works. And to motivate you in specific areas. Like, I mean, honestly, it is worth you reposting that story about why Lena Khan is good. Yeah. It is worth you sending it, to 20 of your Facebook friends, 19 of whom will be like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why would I even care about this? Because if it impacts one of them, I mean, the number of people who need to push back and sort of like articulate and give the future administration a sense, who are invested in who the FTC chair is so small relative to the population, to the number of people who are going to vote, for it to have an impact that I think it would shock all of us. It is just a question of, like, if it becomes too toxic for them to sort of dismantle the antitrust and the labor gains, and then they will just avoid it because they've got other things they've got to deal with.
I mean, just remember where we were in 2020 with Biden, right? Biden ran as the most right-wing Democrat in that primary race, and he ran as a very centrist, I would say center-right Democrat during that election. When he got in power, there were constituencies within the Democratic Party that were able to get Lena Khan to be the FTC chair, because I think it's probably true that Elizabeth Warren cut some deals. Bernie Sanders was able to influence things in the labor sector. And Julie Su, we will maybe play a little bit of her later, has been really phenomenal and was instrumental in getting a significant pay raise for the longshoremen. I really just feel like people are getting caught up in the moment of the way that she's campaigning and are not not necessarily seeing it as what it is, the most cynical strategy possible in a very set of extremely narrow circumstances where they're trying to define her in a way that doesn't scare off these very specific voters that they're trying to target. Now, I buy the stuff on Wall Street and the crypto stuff. I do think that she's probably worse on that stuff than Biden, but she may be better than Biden on some stuff. Like, we're not too far off from when she very cynically endorsed Medicare for all and the Green New Deal and then walked it back. So do I believe that she's sincere? I don't think she was sincere about that, but I also don't think she's sincere about this. I think it's about where there can be pressure exerted. And we're also just like a month and a half or 2 months from when she picked Tim Walz over Josh Shapiro. For me, that indicates something that's more positive as well. So this is all about power. We're in the period where they're trying to get power. They're trying to win. And it's not necessarily pretty, and it's going to be a difficult and an alienating few months for the left. But we are not in a place right now where she could be inserted and run a campaign that is authentically leftist, because she's not that kind of candidate. This campaign is not that kind of campaign, nor are the conditions set up right now for that campaign to be able to get off the ground in that regard. So I'm just being extremely practical and realistic about what this indicates. And I don't think we should take this post-convention period as like, this is exactly how she's going to govern. I don't necessarily think that's true.
I agree with that. But I would see your Biden, sort of like surprise on Biden, and see it with, putting Obama 08 there, where a lot of people saw there were hints as to who Obama was, I should say. I just remember when Goolsbee, his top economic advisor, was up in Canada saying, don't listen to the NAFTA stuff that he's talking about. So it cuts both ways, I guess, is really the point that we're trying to make.
So if she's Obama, then we get Phil Gordon as national security advisor, and they're talking about the Iran deal now publicly, Tim Walz and Nancy Pelosi, and we're in a better situation in the Middle East. So I know it's tough to say. It's just okay, so then maybe she's worse than both Obama and Biden. I don't know.
We won't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
But the Walz pick makes me feel like there's at least, here's the bottom line. I don't care about her as a person. I really don't. But my optimism about where the Democratic Party is from where it was when Obama got elected is
100% true.
Legitimate.
100% true.
So I just want us to have perspective. Like, the party, there's more windows to influence her than there were windows to influence Obama because of where the left was in 2008 versus where we are now. AOC is a power player in the party. She's going down with Bernie Sanders to rally in Texas. They're in terms of her fundraising apparatus, et cetera. So it's agonizing. But I think we're going way too far with our proclamations about how she would be based on very cynical campaign strategy.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they're anybody's doing proclamations.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm just
speculations.
Speculations. But I don't want us to be doomer about it, because this is all within like a very cynical electoral context that is literally designed to not appeal to us.
People are all over the place with their responses on the IMs. We will read these in the fun half. Just a reminder, it's your support that can make this that makes this show possible. You become a member at jointhemajorityreport.com. When you do, you not only get the free show free of commercials, you get the fun half. And you can IM us. Texas deadline to register to vote is Monday, October 7th, says El Conniption. So make sure you get out there. Colt Dog says her right-wing shift seems to have worked with some right-wing Florida voters, which is why she's so close here, but it's depressing for me as a leftist.
Yes, they're trying to get Allred elected in Texas. That's why she's saying I would shoot someone if they came into my home. I'm just trying to underscore how mercenary this all is.
To be accurate, thank you, Emma. Sam wants to pander to his audience. Well, if you saw the IMs, your assessment of our audience, I've been doing this for 20 years. And I couldn't tell you what the audience reaction would be to 90% of what I say. Wet Blanket says you're reading too much into the Walz pick between the 101 and 5. I agree with Emma. It just goes back and forth.
She would have picked Shapiro if he had acted like he won the job. It was a decision based on personality, not policy, says Wet Blanket. So you think that's it? You think it was just based on personality?
I have a feeling the personality was the sort of backfilling of a rationale to explain the pick.
That would be an incredibly shallow way for someone to campaign for president. And I have a very hard time believing that that's the case.
Hack All Things says, Sam pandered to me by sending me pizza monthly. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.